Hi everybody, welcome to part 2 of our short talk series entitled There is Hope. I want to spend a few minutes just sharing some ideas around why I believe there is hope for families. Firstly, God is the source of family and the source of hope. The need to connect with people, to relate to people, is built into us. It's part of what makes us human. Now that might be expressed differently for different people. Some people are much more outgoing than others. I wouldn't put myself in that category, but even in me, there is a need to connect with people at various points and in different ways. That need to connect is built in, and it reflects the fact that we're made in the image of God. Genesis 1:26 and 27, right at the start of the Bible, includes a clue that points to the Trinity, God in three persons relating together. It says, "Then God said, let us make mankind in our image, in our likeness, so that they may rule over the fish in the sea and the birds in the sky, over the livestock and all the wild animals, and over all the creatures that move along the ground." So God created mankind in his own image. In the image of God, he created them. Male and female, he created them. We read in Romans 15:13, it's something we read in our life group this week, in fact. It talks about how God is the source of hope. Just as God is the source of hope, he's the source of family. Our God is a family, Father, Son, and Holy Spirit, and he invites us into that family through Jesus. The fact that God invites us into his family also points to the fact that family is not limited to biology. God calls us to make room for more than the family we were born into. Psalm 68 verse 5 and 6 in the New Living Translation puts it this way: "Father to the fatherless, defender of widows, this is God, whose dwelling is holy. God places the lonely in families. He sets the prisoners free and gives them joy, but he makes the rebellious live in a sun-scorched land." As usual, the Bible challenges the lie of Western culture's underlying rule, every man for himself. It's nonsense. It's a privilege to see people from so many different backgrounds and experiences of life welcomed into our family at Bury Christian Fellowship. Welcomed into our life as a church, but also welcomed into different individual family life. Joined in, connected, people opening their homes and their lives. I'm sure that doesn't work out all the time as well as we would like. I'm sure we make mistakes, but it's been a real hallmark of what we do for so many years before Lisa and our family joined, and you made us part of your family and welcomed us in, and we've been very, very grateful for that. But it is part of what we do. We need to keep our homes and our family groups, our friendship groups open. I know that's difficult at the moment. We're having to be more creative about it, and most of it is virtual and online, but it is such an important thing to do, to keep those friendship groups open, to keep our families open, to keep our homes open to others and welcome them in. So God is the source of family and of hope. And family isn't limited to our biological connections. My last point is that being in a living relationship with Jesus brings transformation to families. We called Sarah as our children and families lead worker last year, and we wanted to have more of an impact in that area. We felt that was something God was calling us into, to make more impact in the lives of families in our community. And despite all the challenges that 2020 has brought, it's been really encouraging to see that happening, that the work that Sarah and the rest of the team at various points has been able to do to make connections has been really, really encouraging. And there's much more to come. But let's, for a minute, just use our imaginations. I want to ask you to imagine these things. Imagine how a family can be changed by the gospel. Imagine the impact when people experience God's love, his forgiveness, his healing, his peace, his grace His mercy, His kindness. Imagine the impact that has on those lives. Imagine the change in a marriage when people encounter Jesus and choose to live for Him instead of putting self-interest first. If you're watching this today and you're struggling with life generally, if you're struggling with family life, being a father, being a mother, if you're struggling with life generally, I want to invite you to do two things. The first thing I want you to do is to talk to God, and that's the most important thing. I want to encourage you to tell Him how you feel, to tell Him where you feel weak, to be honest, not use fancy words, just talk to Him. We call that prayer, and I want to invite you to do that for yourself, because He's more than eager to listen and act, and He invites us to come to Him. Secondly, I want to encourage you to talk to a Christian that you know, wherever you are. And I'm conscious that you may be a long way from us here in the north of Manchester. Find a Christian you know and talk to them. Find a church you know and talk to them. And if you don't have anybody, it doesn't matter where you are in the world, talk to us, contact us here at Bury Christian Fellowship, and let us know how we can help you, what help you need, and we would love to be able to help you. But the first point of contact is God Himself, is Jesus, because He's ready, willing, and able to help. And maybe you even seeing this video today has been part of His reaching out to you. So, to recap, God is the source of family and the source of hope. Family isn't limited to our biological connections, and Jesus brings transformation to families. There are three reasons why we can say that there is hope for families. Thanks for listening. God bless.